Redlining is the practice of denying people access to credit because of where they live, even if they are personally qualified for loans. Historically, mortgage lenders widely redline neighborhoods with immigrants or high populations of Black, Latino, and Asian residents. A study published by the American Chemical Society found these redline neighborhoods tended to have higher levels of harmful air pollution 8 decades later. Ongoing research from UC Berkeley's School of Public Health also found people of color are disproportionately exposed to greater levels of air pollution. Studies have also found that racially segregated neighborhoods are less likely to have access to parks, trees, and gardens, which affects air quality and radiates heat. Our team traveled to a historically redlined neighborhood in San Francisco, and what we found aligned with reports on similar areas. Close to industry and freeways with little in the way of vegetation. We had to walk roughly 15 minutes to get to a nearby park, which was not in a redline community. Here we were able to interview some locals about the issue.
Well, my understanding of redlining, there were certain neighborhoods that banks wouldn't give loans to. That happened in the Fillmore, probably other neighborhoods in San Francisco, and it was historically racist. I haven't noticed a lot of green spaces, maybe a couple parks, but yeah, lots of asphalt and cement. I guess I haven't noticed the air quality as much.
That's one of those things where it's not like you're actively thinking about it, so that's totally fine. It's just some interesting research that people had done. So I guess the whole thing is there's really not much we can do right now. We just kind of want to spread a message and let people just so that you're aware of what's going on.
Why would you say the message is?
Well, I guess just it's hard to say.
We didn't fully know what the message was. It was refreshing to hear that there were people aware of redlining, but evidently the next step was to hear an expert's thought on the issue. The co-founder of the West Oakland Environmental Indicators Project, Margaret Gordon, invited us to a celebration for the successes of the West Oakland Community Action Plan. This plan focuses on community-based emission reductions in neighborhoods disproportionately impacted by air pollution.
WOEIP has been saying about environmental justice for over 20 years, and we see our work in a state. Somebody finally heard us and put it in AB 6.7.
It's not only a question of whether this is the right work to do or whether this should be prioritized. It is the work we should be doing. So work with Ms. Margaret and Brian really showed how government can work for communities in these spaces.
So AB 617 has lots of different pieces, but for me, that was secondary. It's the power that you have and you're doing to change the culture, to make their district listen to you about more than just the little community that you're in. So I want to thank you for that, because that is for me the beauty of AB 617.
Here, we were able to interview the community engagement lead at the WOEIP.
My name is Meet Panchal, and I am the community engagement lead with the West Oakland Environmental Indicators Project. So with redlining, historically all the black and brown communities having industrial zones right next to these low-income neighborhoods, basically demarcating those lines, trying to showcase that they'll never be able to get out of that state. Neighborhoods would experience high rates of asthma or respiratory diseases. So there's going to be a negative impact on communities who are going to be perpetually in that state. You see studies of Dr. Robert Bullard, who's the father of environmental justice. You see a landfill, there's always a black or a brown neighborhood right next to the landfill. So our organization has been working on the larger legislation called AB 617, also known as Owning Our Air. We've been working with the community to implement 89 strategies which they've come up with, but we have a steering committee which works on implement these 89 strategies to lower the air pollution and the air emissions within West Oakland. Correct the wrong which has been done historically, trying to make sure we are not doing the same things repetitively again and again in the same neighborhood, and trying to make sure that everybody has a equality and equity. I would say get involved. That's the best thing you can do. We've been recruiting steering committee members. Either you're local, you may have an expertise, you may have lived experiences within your own community, you may have certain knowledge which nobody else may have. So having that seat to the table is a huge thing, and being able to show up to these different meetings or even taking part in these different initiatives which has been happening throughout. I think that is the best thing you guys could do, be part of this larger movement of environmental justice and climate justice.
We may not be living in a perfect world, but as long as we have people getting involved in fighting for environmental justice, there is always hope.